Hey guys, I guess welcome to day 2 of FNAF, really. Even as a content creator for this specific topic, it's very hard to come up with anything FNAF, really, especially, like, for the next, um, I want to say 25 days now, right? Yeah, 25 days. Um, but this week is getting me so mixed up on the days, so I'm trying to keep up with my days here during the week. Um, Okay, so it's time to go back into memory lane, okay? Like, please expect this during the next, 25 days, the countdown leading to FNAF. Um, but, we're gonna have fun with this, right, guys? So, going down to memory lane, again, 2015, right? Anytime anybody in the FNAF community mentions 2015 FNAF, like the year when FNAF really peaked, oh, so many things that's going on that like we remembered. The good, the bad, but like again for nostalgia reasons, right? Like, oh my goodness, guys. I know I made a separate video on this a couple years back, talking about how I got into FNAF and like my nostalgia of it, but like I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Hopefully not too long, but just again, I want to talk about the good peak memories of 2015 FNAF. Of course, again, there's 2014 FNAF, which I might reference here and there in this video. So, yeah, it's like, where do I even begin? I mean, I I finally found out about FNAF by my two buddies in my friend group. Uh, Actually, during Easter time, right? Like, oh my gosh, wow, getting into FNAF during Easter, right, guys? But then again, it is a Christian franchise because you gotta remember Scott Cawthon. He's a Christian and conservative. So again, giving credit to where it's due. So totally better than the Lord of the Rings and Narnia. Like, take that, C.S. Lewis and Tolkien. You cannot beat a creative genius that we call Scott Cawthon. Yep. Um. I mean, this was just when FNAF 3 was still fresh, so recent during that year, right? Like, oh my gosh. I was one of those people that definitely believed, like, after when the game came out, when I was, like, getting myself used to it, like, it was the most hyped game in the history of gaming. But, of course, I'm on the same boat with you guys. Like, FNAF 3 is just, it is just not really working. Sure, the story is important, right? Like, the behind-the-scenes stuff, right? And who knows, maybe Scott did know that he put Michael Afton as the night guard in that game and we all just didn't know it, because that game is more of a personal story game, right? Like the confrontation between the son and the father, right? And again, thanks to Scott Cawthon over the years, he's given us official confirmation. I liked it how Squimpus McGrimpus, again, like, thanks to him, like, he kind of fleshed the story out in his own way, too, with that, like, guys, who knows when the FNAF 3 movie will come out, because I'm pretty sure Scott doesn't want to be like those studios where they have to release a movie, like, every year just to get to the point of the story, because us true fans, we know the story. We can wait longer, right? It has taken us almost a decade to get this movie out. Like, I mean, hey, Scott, by any means, like, just take your time with these next two sequels, because if it is really true that he's only going to make a trilogy of this franchise, at least he needs to obviously not cram into everything, because what we need to expect from this first movie, right, is that, sure, it is based on the first game, but there's going to be more backstory and more lore that he's going to put in there. So, like, maybe, like, there'll be time jumps, right? Time jumps between the games, right? So I think Scott can perfect that because I can't remember any franchise, as far as my memory, guys, like has almost crammed everything into one movie or TV show just to get like the story pointed out. Like you guys get what I mean, right? Man, just thinking about this franchise going forward, like again with the movie franchise now, like we know that the movies are canon to the lore. Nothing will change that because again, I'm pretty sure in Scott's perspective, what he was trying to make with the games was that he wanted to expand the story, right, or stories, if you will. But again, he only had limited resources when he was making these games, right? I know I mentioned this before. Um, yeah. So FNAF 3, if Scott can really shed some more light on that game, then maybe I could have a deeper understanding and somewhat of a respect for that game, right? Like we need to look we would have to look past beyond like the hype and the jump scares and all that yeah. Um I'm pretty sure most of you guys back in the day, I was definitely one of these people who thought for sure that FNAF 3 was going to be the last because again, when you have a franchise like FNAF, like when you put a 3 in there, it's like the final one in the trilogy, right? Like sure, you can still call it 3, but that doesn't necessarily needs like to mean like means like the franchise needs to end, right? So, and when FNAF 4 was announced, I honestly thought, and after when that game came out, I thought that was the last one for sure. But of course, FNAF, or yeah, Scott did announce FNAF World for early 2016, but that's more of a spin off. It's not really canon, right? But then I remembered early 2016, like when I was in high school, like I remember like seeing all the images and teasers for Sister Location. I thought this is gonna be a great year. Yeah. What really peaked with FNAF though, guys? I'm pretty sure it wasn't just the games, right? I'm pretty sure there could be one suspect, but for a good reason for this. It could this could be Gmod slash source filmmaker, right? Like we all know the classics, guys, right? Like oh my gosh, there were so many good like videos and adaptations in 2015. Oh my gosh, like yeah, the parodies, music videos. Oh man, guys. I mean, we all know the classic Five Nights at Freddy's song by the Living Tombstone, right? And then there's the song "It's Me." You know that song really scared the crap out of me. And there was "Hope You Die in a Fire." Like I'm pretty sure there were some other ones I missed out, but just like the top three that I'm thinking of in my head. Who remembers Smike? Hopefully you guys remember Smike. I still watch his old top 10 facts on FNAF, and oh my gosh, Smike, if you ever watch this, please come back. Like, guys, I honestly didn't care if he quote unquote stole fan art for his videos. Um, I remember them just being perfect, you know, but since like he had to re-upload those videos without the fan art, they're still enjoyable to watch and listen to, right? FNAF, especially during that year, got me out of a rut. Again, depression didn't really hit me then, guys, okay? I wasn't that typical teenager where they assume, like, oh, since I'm a teenager now, I'm depressed. Like, you make yourselves depressed. Like, you don't know what depression is until something in your life has happened to you that makes you depressed, okay? And plus, you are being a faker when you say, "Oh, I'm depressed," like just like out of nowhere, like again, you don't know depression until depression hits you, okay? So don't be a fricktard, okay? Beg of you guys not to do that. Yeah, I can't exactly say the specific reason why I was in this terrible rut slash hell I went through at age 14, but I could just tell you guys FNAF really did help me out because I was in a bad spot. And plus, again, without FNAF, this is very true, guys. Without FNAF, I would have never have met the greatest people in the community. Again, we're talking Tegan, I'm sorry, Tegan, AJ. I'm trying to remember names like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I could write down a list of people that I've met or talked to. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the fake teasers. I remember the fake teasers, guys. Like, I legitimately thought that the purple guy animatronic was real in FNAF 2. Um, I'm sure most of you guys in the community are aware of who Daco is. 3 years ago, he did make a video about FNAF nostalgia, and I always go back to that because I get like the way that he talks about the nostalgia is that like, oh my gosh, like I remember watching some of his earliest videos too. Oh my gosh, like remember the Springtrap video that he made? Like he was trying to decode his voice, and the jump scare did sound like a guitar, right, guys? Like I know I'm not the only one who thought about this. Jeez. Um. Again, going back to the Gmod stuff, like Gary's mod, I still want to play the like. I remember. Oh, I keep reminding my buddy Tegan this because he always brings up this stuff. Guys, he has confirmed this many times on the channel. He would not lie to anybody. He would not lie to me. He was actually accused a few times, like, oh, what if your friend is lying to you? Like, guys, Tegan is the reason why your childhood is the way it is with Wade and either Yami or JP's because, man, those Wade and Yami Mesh FNAF videos that they did, when they were playing one of the mods, man, nostalgia, and I had no idea that Tegan was actually messing with those guys on the map. And I didn't watch these other videos until like a year after, like the ones with Wade and JP. Those came out a year after, like 2016, but during my sophomore year, I actually got to watch them 2017. Like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? How come I never heard of these or seen these? But Tegan interfered with those videos too. So again, you have him to thank. Oh man. What else? Again, FNAF is everything to me, guys. It's more than just a game, you know. Scott really found a way to bring this fan base, this community together for the last 9 years. And the fact that we're getting a movie, oh my gosh. I remember April 2015 was when they announced they were making a movie. Like, already? Like, oh my gosh. Like, again, when Warner Brothers had the rights. And I was afraid I wasn't going to go see it because if that movie would have came out probably late 2015, maybe early 2016 if it was rated R, I knew I wasn't allowed to go see it, you know. Jeez. And I wish I kept this in my files, but me and my friends back in the day, we made our own FNAF fan film on my tablet. and I regret not saving those files. That's where that school project came in my senior year, because that was a recreation of that fan film, but it wasn't specifically exact, if that makes sense. It's just, again, it was in my own way, but like, again, this one was for a school project for like horror films, right? Um, so yeah, I really hope that there'll be positivity after this movie, because like, I know Scott will not let us down. He's the man with the plan. He knows what he's doing. He knows his crap. Um, and I also think everyone else in the community can agree that the top three YouTubers that keep FNAF consistent is definitely Markiplier, um, Game Theory, Matt Pat, and then Daco, right? Because they're still brought up in conversation to this day, guys. Whether you're on the internet or hanging out with friends, like they're still brought up in conversation. I remember this one video specifically. I'm still trying to find it, and I'm pretty sure it did involve Daco, the two Ryans, and either Razbowski or Smike. But like, this was in the early days, right? Before the Matt Pat live stream, right, in October 2015. I wish I could have been there in person to see, like, at least, like, there's two different versions you could watch it. You could watch like the fully extended live stream, or just like a quick cut 30-minute version. Um, it was either these four guys were talking, like, hashing out the story, or was it after FNAF 3? I don't remember. If you guys can help me find this video, like, this video was also, like, dark on purpose. Like, they were trying to create it, like spooky, right? And I don't remember how long this video was. Could have been 15 minutes. I don't know. Um, and Markiplier is the definition of FNAF. Yep, there's no denying that. Like, sure, he wasn't the first Let's Player to do it, but at least he was the one to bring it to light, to, acknowledge it, and then us, the fans, we acknowledged him by acknowledging the game, right? And the special part about this is that the first game came out, like, the franchise really came out on my brother's birthday. Yep. So every year, I always make it a priority to celebrate both FNAF and my brother's birthday on the same day. Yep. I also remember, guys, like, there were these fake pizzeria phone numbers for Freddy's, and I thought they were pretty cool. Who remembers this kid, though? I'm pretty sure he's British, right? But like, if you look at his face, I tried looking up his videos recently, and looks like he took them down. But he's trying to look scared. But I don't want to disrespect the kid. But like, I'm gonna make the face, so hopefully you guys can, like, if you guys recognize this kid, like, he made a face like this every single time he called the animatronics. Like, who makes a face like that? Again, if the kid has a certain condition, I'll understand. But like, dude, kid, if you ever watch this, I'm sorry. I've seen all your videos when you called them, and they look fake. Like, nobody makes a face like this. Like, when you're scared, like, you're scared out of your freaking mind. You're like, ah! Like, I'm pretty sure that was a pretty bad scare face, but you guys get what I mean. Um, I mean, the Chica one was very convincing. Like, again, I don't know if he knew people who, I guess, pre-recorded them, and like, and the audio just sounds so clean, right? Like, even with this crappy quality videos, like, oh my gosh. Chica, you have to leave? Why, you little crap? Like, who remembers that one? Again, so many funny memories, guys. I know I said I don't want to keep this video too long, but like, I just can't help myself, again, talking about the nostalgia of FNAF. Even when we knew in the early 2014 stages when FNAF 1 and 2 were still fresh, you could tell by some of the early Gmod or Source Filmmaker stuff, like, some of them weren't pretty good. Some of them weren't actually that bad, but, they're part of the nostalgia, like, they're in the early phases, of, like, getting popular and all that. Because sure, something might be popular for a while, but it doesn't become popular until something makes it popular, when it makes it peak, right? Like, I've always said this about Star Wars in the past, like, for anybody, Star Wars can peak at different times, and 2020, like I said, Star Wars definitely peaked for me because, like, it peaked for me again because, again, because of the Clone Wars, Rebels, and The Mandalorian, they helped me get my love back for Star Wars and made me realize, like, Revenge of the Sith is actually my all-time favorite movie. Like, yeah, not just Star Wars movie, my all-time favorite movie. Like, and I'm happy that the prequels are getting more recognition and the sequels can just go, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. And sure, there are other good things that came out in 2015, but FNAF was definitely the highlight of it all. Again, I got to connect with some friends back in high school too, besides Tegan, you know. Again, I remembered how big Sister Location was in 2016. Like, that was the game of 2016. If I had to pick what was the FNAF game, or just game in general for 2015, it was definitely FNAF 4, because Scott definitely saved the franchise with that one for sure. It definitely had more lore, had more story. It was more important than 3. But could you have at least made it into FNAF Origin, Scott? Okay, I'm sure it's in development, guys, at some point in the pipeline, maybe. Scott will surprise us. Hopefully for the 10th anniversary next year. That could be pretty cool. I also remembered after Ultimate Custom Night came out, I was very disappointed to hear that that was Scott's officially last time to make a game on his own, because I seriously thought that was the end of the franchise. But then again, in the Daco interview, he did say that, he's still working with big gaming companies to this day so that, like, he could expand on the games, right? And what's even more sadder is that I'm happy that Tegan and I keep bringing this up in our live stream sometimes. That, it was very unfortunate 2 summers ago that Scott had to retire early because of his beliefs, his political beliefs. Like, guys, come on. And then there's a lot of people that calling him evil. Like, you people are the evil ones. Don't forget that. At least Scott will still be around behind the scenes and all that. Hopefully with the popularity of FNAF with the movie, like, hopefully he'll come out of retirement and just do what he loves doing. But again, of course, I also respect the fact that he did say that, he's always wanted to retire and he just wanted to make, what do you say, like, coin slot games for his kids. Like, I mean, again, if that's something you want to do, especially for your family, man, then go for it. I support you all the way. Don't forget that. And the fact that Scott shouted me out one time in high school, like, that was pretty special to me. Like, dude. Like, how cool is that? It's not every day you find out that the people that I don't know, I'm not gonna use idolize, no, like you favor or you loved, like they shut you out. Like, oh my gosh, Scott, I hope I get to meet you in person someday. You changed my life for the better, man. I could definitely tell you're a really humble guy, especially when you had that interview with Daco. And I cannot wait when the movie is out. Daco, Ryan and Ryan, and Razbowski, they're finally going to release their behind the scenes videos. Like, can you imagine the Blu-ray release, guys? Like the behind the scenes. Like, can you imagine seeing those guys in the bonus features? It's probably possible, and like likely, very likely. But again, who knows? Again, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, right, guys? Yeah, it's just I expect the best for this movie and for Scott's hard work to be paid off, and hopefully there'll be no more haters like especially in the last 2 years, because leave Scott alone. Like, I'm totally speechless here. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but like, just leave the man alone. Let him do what he wants to do. Whatever he does in his life is not evil. Okay? The haters that call him evil, they're evil. Remember that, guys. Yet I'm happy that he's a Christian and a Republican conservative, because he's making the right calls for sure. And again, I know there's still some people out there that enjoy the games but don't like Scott. Like, again, this happens with every franchise, right, guys? You could still love a franchise, but you don't have to love the creator, right? Or like I should say, like, so either way, again, I'm always gonna support Scott, and if you're gonna hate me on it and call me evil, I don't care. Get on my level, bite me. All right. I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Please turn the post notification bells for my content if you haven't already. And I apologize in advance if I haven't covered everything. Like, I don't expect to, but like, tell me what your FNAF experiences were like, what your nostalgia was like for the franchise. Like, how old were you when FNAF came out, or like when did you start playing the games? And like, again, the books are really good too, guys. Like, the books are really good. Yeah. Again, the Fazbear Frights books has piqued my interests in the last 3 years. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for buying me. The Lord be with you guys. Always up, guys. Peace out, guys.